With the debate between realism and idealism, it is just whether reality exists independently of us or if it is just shaped by our minds. In realism, it says that the world exists whether we can perceive it or not. Like what we can see or touch, that's just part of a bigger independent reality. While in idealism, it argues that reality is somehow just tied to our minds, and what we experience might be influenced by how we perceive such things. As for unknowable realities, it does make sense that there's some parts of reality where they're just too extreme to understand. Like from an realist perspective, there could be things out there where we can't fully perceive or explain to people, but they can still exist. And from an idealist view, there are certain aspects of reality where they could be forever unknowable because they're too beyond our mental abilities or experiences. But, well, personally, I do think there might be parts of reality where we will never fully take in, whether they can exist independently or not. An example could be how we will never fully grasp the concept of conscious itself. This is because we can study and observe brain activity, but we as people will never fully understand or take in how subjective experiences like thoughts, emotions, or the feeling of being aware come out of the brain. Moving on to knowledge. Traditionally, we as people often think of knowledge as something we can gain through reason, like thinking logically, or sense perception, like what we can hear, see, touch. It goes on. But some people argue that there might be other ways to know things, like through faith. An example could be that many people claim to know that God exists not just because of reason or what they can sense, but because of their faith. Faith allows them to trust in something beyond direct proof or logic. By thinking like this, faith is a valid way of knowing, even if it's not easily measurable or universally convincing as a reason or perception. Ultimately, knowledge might not just be limited to what we can think, to what we can logically reason or perceive. Faith, intuition, and other factors might also play a role in shaping how we will understand and perceive the world. Moving on. I don't know if I'm gonna say his name right, but Descartes argued that the only thing we can know for sure is our own experience as a thinking thing. Because even if everything else is in doubt, the fact that we're thinking must mean that we exist in reality. His famous line, which I'm going to translate, is "I think, therefore I am," which captures this whole idea. To respond, one might agree with Descartes in the sense that our thoughts prove we exist in some form. However, others might challenge him, arguing that this focus on thought excludes others' ways of knowing. For example, some believe our existence is not just about thinking but also interacting with the world and others. There is room to reject Descartes' conclusion if we think knowledge and existence goes beyond just thought, like emotions, perceptions, or even relationships, which define who we are as people. So while Descartes offers an interesting starting point, it's not the whole picture. Lastly, to me, what matters the most is knowing the truth. This is because I would never want to go on and live my life knowing that somebody I love and know has been lying to me the whole time. Um, by knowing that, I feel like I'm not being a good person to myself or being supportive to myself. Um, So in my opinion, knowing a miserable lie would be better than living a happy lie, because it gives us a better understanding. And even if it is painful to know, I feel like it is more authentic and more valuable than living in ignorance, even if the ignorance gives us temporary comfort. Thank you.